I'm John, and tonight I want answers about black widow spiders and black bears. And what the hell happened? There's no stopping us now because we're live.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. Thank you. Check your calendar. If it says November 10th, 2016, then we're live. And tomorrow, Veterans Day. Or in Canada, Remembrance Day. We celebrate at 11/11/11/11, honor those who have served our countries. My guest tonight is Keith Stattenfield. He's the host of Keith Explains, which airs on Wednesdays, 8:30. He's my guest tonight because he's a news junkie and knows stuff, and he's a generous guy because, again, listening to my podcast, it's not my podcast.
Not your podcast.
My favorite podcast, Probably Science, and they said, hey, thanks to Keith Stattenfield for giving us money again.
Yeah.
Are you getting a little embarrassed about that? Like,
No,
all the attention?
I'm a generous guy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm truthfully like months behind on that show, so I've never heard them thank me.
That you never heard them thank you? Okay, well, I've given it away. Given away the punchline. If you've never seen the show before, this is like a courtroom drama. I'm the prosecutor, the guest is the expert witness, and you at home and in the studio are the jury. It's your job to convict or acquit the topics. You can tweet us at John Wants Answer. Now you can't, there's no S on the end because the S is for suck. If you don't like Twitter, then you can go to our website, johnwantsanswers.com. Click on the contact page, send us a message, and since we're live, we're going to read that stuff during the break, and then we will communicate with you. We'll have like a little dialogue. It'll be great.
Are we on Facebook Live again?
We're on Facebook Live right now.
Why don't you tell people to go to the Facebook page and send you questions?
Well, that's like 3 things that I got to read. I got to read
but you could
Twitter,
get rid of Twitter because you
Facebook.
hate it.
Yeah, but like kids today, if you were a kid today, you'd be all about Twitter. Or if you're a presidential candidate, you'd be all about Twitter.
I don't think the kids today are on Twitter. I think the kids today are on Snapchat.
Oh, isn't that where like you take a picture and it disappears like within seconds?
That was like 8 years ago. Yes.
Oh,
but like today, it's like all crazy.
Oh. What can I do that I can't do on Facebook?
But you're not doing anything on Facebook. That's what I'm saying.
We're Facebook Live.
At least Facebook Live, people could type comments under our little Facebook Live. That would promote it. People could have little conversations amongst themselves.
Yeah,
Instead, you're broadcasting on Facebook, but you're telling people to go to Twitter to send you messages, and no one goes to Twitter and sends us messages.
Hey, we're
you have to make up
multimedia.
You have to make up fake names of the people to tweet things in every month. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows their fake names.
No, there's someone named Charlotte. There is, trust me. Big news. New affiliates. Last month, I announced a new affiliate.
Yes.
This month, I'm announcing new affiliates.
Okay.
So we have the East Bridgewater Community TV in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. I'm probably saying that wrong. So Massachusetts, another station.
That's a big get.
And then Wolfboro Community Television in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. So we're getting like these like northeast.
Are you sure that's pronounced correctly?
Well, it's Wolf.
I'm sure they have a different way of saying it.
I'm sure they have a different way of saying it.
You should call someone there and ask them to tell you how to pronounce it.
Oh.
By the way, when do I start getting this sweet affiliate money?
As soon as I get it, you'll get it. The opinions stated here are my own, not necessarily those of my company.
You say that, but I bet you could take that necessarily out.
No, I'm sure we have some views that are the same.
I think there'd be there'd be a very small set of intersection.
I think my company likes puppies and, okay, bad example. I think I like kittens.
Yes.
And I think my company likes kittens too.
Yeah, but we never talk about whether you like kittens.
Kittens fuel the internet.
We have never expressed an opinion in the show.
Yes. Right now I just did. I said I like kittens.
That's why I'm saying it'd be a vast minority.
I'm sure my company likes kittens too. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to get through. So we're going to get right into it. Charlotte52 sent us a tweet.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Right.
Charlotte52.
She asked in her tweet, she goes, how dangerous are black widow spiders? So our first topic, black widow spiders.
You know, Charlotte 52 has too many letters to be a tweet. That's why you can't have an S in John Wants Answers.
Charlotte
That's how we
52?
know it's fake.
No. That's way within the limit. I'm sure it is.
I'm gonna look up her Twitter account right now.
So speaking of kittens, remember I mentioned kittens earlier?
Yeah, you got a kitten, I know.
So every night I got to go and take out the cat litter. So I take it from my little bathroom where the cat has its litter box, walk through the garage, and then I go outside, and I dump it in the trash can. So on the way, I'm in my garage, and there's crickets. I hear a cricket every night going squeak, squeak. Well, I can't do the noise very well, but you get the idea, right? Squeak, squeak. And then there's a little spider, like living near the door that I go outside with, in a web. And so then I say, hello, spider, because I'm a little crazy that way. And so then, and if I see a bug outside, a cool bug, like a praying mantis, I'll take a picture of the praying mantis.
Of course you will.
That's kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
So one day I decided I'm going to take a picture of this spider.
Of the cool spider.
That I see for the last few months. So let's take a look at the spider I took.
Yeah.
Let's see the picture of the spider.
Is it one of them live pictures? Will the spider move?
No. Okay, there it is. See? And so I took this picture and I thought to myself, that's an awfully black spider.
Yeah.
And it's awfully...
Except for that red hourglass thing.
And, and so I'm wondering, hey, I wonder if there's one of those black widows I've been hearing about. And so I get inside and I ask Stephanie, I go, hey, what does a black widow spider look like?
Yeah.
And
she's like, I'd know it if I saw one.
she's like, it's got a black mark on the belly.
A red mark.
I go,
red mark.
Yeah, red mark on the belly. And I was like, well, turns out...
We got one of those in the garage.
We got one in the garage. And like, I'm not really too concerned about it because it's in the garage.
It's in the garage.
Yeah.
I mean, things from the garage don't come in the house.
Yeah.
Ever.
And they're like, we have animals. Animals are in the house. Animals don't go in the garage. So I'm not.
Well,
I'm
you
not
go in the
concerned.
garage.
I go in the garage.
And you're an animal. I mean, do you see how logically that's not true at all?
So anyways,
Okay, Stephanie's still alive.
Stephanie decided...
I'm very concerned about her because she's almost died in the show once.
Yeah, we had to keep her alive that one time. So she decided this had to go.
Yes.
This cannot be, we cannot stand for this black widow spider in my garage. Right. So...
Did you call a guy?
No, she took care of it.
She took care of it.
She took care of it.
You didn't take care of it.
I didn't. Not because I was scared.
No, of course not.
It's just that I was just very nonchalant about the whole thing. Like,
okay. This is going to get used against you in the future.
Maybe.
Many times.
So would this spider have killed me?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No.
So
it would have hurt if it bit you.
I mean, I've had...
And injected some venom in you.
I've had spider bites before. Now, would this be worse than your
This is
average
probably
spider
worse.
bite? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can be sick for like a week.
Really?
Yeah.
What are
like
the
you
symptoms?
get muscle pain. You can throw up a lot. Yeah.
Well, after this week, I've been throwing up a lot anyways.
Yeah.
And I have an old dog
Yes.
and 2 young cats. Now, could they have been
But yeah, if they got bit, yeah, they could be hurt. I mean, they're so much smaller.
Yeah. So it's more like venom per square
Yeah, I think it's a
centimeter.
volume thing.
Yeah.
But like the cats and dogs are covered with hair, so it's harder to bite them.
Right. But, spider
It's not
wanted to.
impossible.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, spiders have done it.
So it's probably best that I got rid of that black widow spider.
Well, it would have been best if you got rid of it. I mean, in this case, Stephanie had to get rid of it, so it's not best. It's at best second best.
So there's a lot of sex and murder going on in my garage because, so a black widow spider will often eat or take off the head of its male mate. And praying mantis, which I saw earlier, took a picture of, also
does the same thing.
Same thing, yeah. So a lot of bugs around my house are like killing each other.
Did you see any little baby black widows?
I didn't, but I was given the report later that they were taken care of as well.
Okay.
Sounds very...
Did you find a body?
I didn't see any bodies.
Of the dead dude?
Dude?
Well, where do you think the babies came from? I mean, we're just saying, if you see babies, there's been a murder in your garage.
So I think the dead man spider is a bit of this scientific thing where if you observe something, it changes the outcome. So
like a Heisenfact.
Maybe. So like in the lab, they stick a male spider and a lady spider in the same spot.
In the same light.
And say, have your sex. And they do it. And then they're both still in the cage or whatever. So the man can't get away. So that he gets eaten, right? Or chopped his head off. But in the wild, man comes along, does his thing, and then runs away. And then he's still alive. So only because he was in a lab they get eaten a lot. So what I'm saying is black widow spiders don't eat as many males as you think they would. Praying mantises, I don't know.
Do you have any evidence whatsoever to back this up? Or is
Yes.
this just a hope?
Yes. No,
is
no,
this
no.
just a fervent hope that this world is not littered with dead black
No,
widow
before
daddies?
I do this show, I spent a lot of time on Wikipedia.
Okay, and we all know Wikipedia is not riddled with errors.
Yeah, it knows more than I do. Errors or not,
Done,
it still
okay.
knows more than I do, right?
Okay, I think we should change your tag to say spider expert. Except the expert should have those quotes around it.
Oh, you mean like how you're an expert arachnoid
Exactly.
witness with expert in quotes?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I'm a prosecutor. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we got some big topics coming up, so we're going to pause right now for a break, and we come back, we're going to talk about what the heck happened. Don't go away.
In primitive times, man regarded the black bear with reverence, and today many Indians have veneration for this imposing and massive animal. Adult males weigh about 170 kilograms and are a little more than a meter in height at the shoulder. Appearing awkward and slow-moving, they can reach speeds of 55 kilometers an hour and are expert swimmers and climbers. The bear prefers heavily wooded areas and will eat almost anything that is available. The young cubs are born in the winter den and remain with their mother for at least a year. The black bear is shy and retiring, but is unpredictable and should be observed from a distance with respect. For more information on the black bear, please contact the Canadian Wildlife Service in Ottawa.
And we're back. And now we learned all about the black bear. We've learned now about black widow spiders and black bears. A lot of black things we're learning about tonight. So fun with metric. That little segment was all metric. So
Because it's Canadian.
So for you Americans, 170 kilograms, that's 375 pounds.
Yeah.
Those bears, they're huge. 375 pounds. They're 1 meter tall when they're just like walking around. That is 3.3 feet. And they can run 55 kilometers an hour, which is 34 miles per hour. It's pretty fast. I can drive that fast, but I can't run that fast.
No. That's like four
At
times
least not
fast.
for more than
That's
like
4
10
times
seconds.
faster than you can run.
Yeah? I think full out for like 10 seconds, what's the fastest they can get?
Oh, you might be able to get a little bit above 8 miles an hour.
That's it?
But not for long.
Okay. Those are black bears. There's black bears and brown bears.
Yes.
Brown bears, also called grizzly bears.
Yes. And polar bears.
And I hang out with grizzly bears in Alaska. And I grew up around the black bears when I was in British Columbia. I never actually saw one, but they're like in the area.
They're everywhere. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
And they're roughly 3.3 feet tall.
We have tweets already.
Oh, good Lord.
How do astronauts vote from space? So we have like an astronaut on a space station. Do they get to
Did you get to vote?
They get to mail the vote in?
Yeah, no, they don't mail it in.
Or they tell the guy? They just whisper into a microphone?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, you get a very complicated system with a remote control pencil of some sort.
They
I don't
have,
know.
like-
I bet they tell a guy.
Okay.
I bet they tell a guy.
Then, that was from AJ Minich.
Okay.
I think I always say his name wrong, but we'll find out. Joey
Hi,
says,
Joey.
John, what's the best way to prepare an egg? I don't really eat eggs, but I guess hard-boiled.
No.
No? You don't think
Hard-boiled
so?
is not the best way to prepare an egg.
What do you think the best way is?
I like over easy, personally.
Oh, that's like the worst. I think
It's the worst. So you
Hard-boiled-
and I are diametrically
hard-boiled,
opposed.
I think, is the best. Next, sunny side up, so you can like dip your toast into the yolky part.
Yeah, there's a tiny bit of salmonella risk for sunny side up.
Okay, so I guess we're
Diametrically opposed.
undecided. Next, how many connections do you have on LinkedIn? Oh, geez, I don't know.
I don't know. My cat has 7.
I like 200, 300.
A
I don't
lot,
know. I really don't
yeah.
know. I should look up later. Maybe next episode
We'll do like a LinkedIn.
we'll get back to you. Would you rather? This is Joey again, and last one was AJ again. Would you rather go in a time machine that only goes forward or backward? You have to stay there too.
Oh, well, we're in a time machine and it goes forward.
Yeah.
So
What if one that
it's
just
not
went
really
a little
much of a
faster?
question. It's not really much of a question. It's,
Well, no,
it's,
would you like one that
would
goes
you
backwards?
rather, comma, instead, comma, be in a time machine that only went backwards? Because once you got there, you'd be in a time machine that only went forward.
What do you like? All is be going backwards? Yeah. Okay. I think I'm just going to go with the forward one. we're in now.
I think
Yeah,
now
it
is
works
great.
with both
Now
ways.
is great.
Which is better, left Twix or right Twix? So they have two different factories making Twixes, and there's a left one and a right one. They put it in the same package. And I don't know why they get together with the packaging and selling distribution because they're diabolical enemies.
As I understand, that's Obama's fault. It's part of Obamacare.
Yeah.
You're no longer allowed to make two Twix in the same factory.
Oh, so like in January.
yeah.
it's all
Next
gonna
year,
fixed.
there'll be none of this left Twix, right Twix thing.
Yeah. I like the one that's over easy.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Twix
over
that's
easy Twix.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I think that's all we have.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, good's relative.
So we got so HRC from New York
Yeah?
emailed us from her personal email server
Yeah.
and asked, what the heck happened with the presidential results?
Oh, good lord.
Our
Is
next
this-
topic, presidential results. So
We're going to talk about the presidency.
I don't know if you've noticed
I noticed.
in the background here where I have my my ballot. If you're ever in doubt who to vote for, just write in Key Stattenfield. So I voted for you for the Santa Clara. See here.
Yes.
So what did I vote for you here? It was the
Let's be clear. You wrote this on your sample ballot
well, yeah,
for television display purposes.
yes.
So
In the
you're
real
not a,
ballot,
so you're
I
not
also,
a criminal.
I also wrote your name.
But
on
you
the
didn't
real
take a
ballot.
picture of your real ballot, so you're not a
No,
criminal.
no, that's not allowed. There's federal laws against that.
No, there's state laws.
Oh, state laws. Okay. So I voted for you for Santa Clara School Board,
Okay. Santa Clara County School Board, probably.
County School Board, and also Open Space Preserve or something.
Okay.
So how would you like to be in those positions?
I looked. I don't live in the district that you voted for the county school board, so I can't serve.
No, you can't.
No. Anna Song is my representative. Different school, different district.
But you're in Santa Clara County.
Yeah, right. And they divided the county up into districts, and you live in a different district than I do.
I see. So you have no chance of
If elected, I would not serve
really.
for that position because it would be a crime.
It'd be crime. Doesn't matter where you live if you want to.
It doesn't matter where you live.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't be a representative from Idaho if you live in California.
Okay, so presidential election. Very surprising results. Because I was told,
Hang on.
and previous on this episode, I thought about being in the bubble. I was told by polls and by Mr.538.com, Nate
Yes,
Silver,
yes.
that Hillary was going to win.
Well, no. Again, Nate said Hillary had a 70% chance of winning.
Let's see what Nate said. Let's
Yep,
put up the
70% chance. Is what he
Nate-
said.
what
Well, he
Nate
was
said.
still wrong.
Okay, so 71 point. Now I took this picture the morning after the election.
Yeah. Well, he didn't
And
change
so,
it.
Yeah, he didn't change it. So 71.4% for Hillary. Now that doesn't mean like she's going to get 71.4% of the vote. Just that chance of
No.
her winning was 71.4%.
Means that in 71% of his trials,
Okay.
she won.
So now look at this map. Now, what states didn't Hillary win that this projection?
Hillary didn't win Florida.
didn't hit in Florida.
She didn't win Pennsylvania.
Did she get North Carolina?
I don't recall if they're done counting in Michigan yet. Michigan's kind of screwed up.
But it looked like Michigan.
And she didn't get Wisconsin.
didn't win Wisconsin. That's where you're from, right?
That's where I'm from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that typically a red, blue, or swingy state?
It was reliably blue for a long time and has been less reliably blue.
Yeah, as you can tell. Remember in the olden days when there was an election and it was really close,
Yeah.
and a newspaper said some other guy won?
Well,
like,
yeah.
I think his name was Dewey.
Dewey.
Remember this? Let's look at this paper that
Yeah.
we saw.
With one
Dewey
paper.
defeats Truman. Now, in reality, Dewey did not
not
defeat
defeat
Truman.
Truman.
No,
No.
Truman turned out to be a president who I've learned about. Well, and Dewey is not a person I've learned about.
Not well.
Besides being
now,
the
now.
guy. Yeah. So I was hoping this is what would happen Wednesday morning. They'd be like, oh, well, we called it, but we were wrong. And
And we've already printed newspapers now. No one did that.
no.
The South Park guys had to quick redo their episode, though.
I saw previews
Yeah.
for that episode on election night.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, now it's, I forget what they said.
They turned it around in 24 hours.
They did.
Yeah.
Oh, I never seen the episode yet.
I
So it's
haven't
fixed.
seen it either. I
it's on
stopped
my
watching South Park a long
DVR.
time ago because I'm no longer hip enough to
They've
watch South Park. I don't get it.
You know, they've gotten real deep recently.
Have they?
The most recent seasons, they really tackle the social issues facing our country.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you should just get into it. Like in the beginning, it was all about like swearing kids,
Yeah, it was little kids and farting.
little kids farting and swearing, and
And
blaming
now?
Canada. And now it's like we gotta talk about internet trolls. We gotta talk about bullying. We gotta talk about gentrification.
Wow.
Man, they take on the big issues.
Take on the big issues.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
So in the Truman,
Yes.
the Dewey wins against Truman. How did that happen? Like,
They were not particularly rigorous, and they thought, Illinois was going to tip in the direction of Dewey because the early returns would have tipped it in the direction of Dewey, and it didn't. It went the other way.
and they probably had a longer lead time than we do today. This is like 1948 or something, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
like they're drawing each one out by hand.
I mean, I think he was holding it up at his rally that evening.
I heard he was on a train going back home to Washington, and on one stop he found it, and he goes, "Hey, look!"
Yeah.
There's a famous picture of Truman holding the sign, and
Yeah.
just laughing because he did
Like
win.
two guys got Truman to sign copies of that newspaper.
Just
They're worth
two?
a lot of money.
Oh,
Yeah.
we should look that up.
Are we still talking about this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still pouring.
Okay. So I looked at the returns. Now, California, for example,
Yes.
very blue state.
Very blue state.
You can set your watts to how blue it's going to be.
It's gonna vote Democratic.
Right. But now, if you look at every county of California, if you look at the really rural ones, they tend to go red.
They do.
Like if you look at the northeast of California,
Yeah,
that big
red.
county,
It's red.
it was 75%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's because 3 of the 4 of them voted for.
So what makes rural areas of the country tend to go red instead of blue?
I think it's a lot of things.
Is it true like the city centers tend to go more blue and rural areas go more red?
Certainly, most urban areas vote more Democratic than very rural areas do. At least it's been that way for the last 40 or 50 years.
Right.
And possibly before that as well. I mean, I kind of think if you live in a dense urban area, you are more exposed to other people and other cultures, and you are perhaps therefore a bit more liberal. I also think the average age of people in rural areas is older than in cities, and older people tend to vote more Republican than Democratic.
Right.
Most colleges are in more urban areas. Colleges tend to have more liberal communities around them.
So after the election, there's been like, for the last 2 or 3 nights, I guess, there's been protests all around the country. Like in Oakland here, they've been protesting for a few days, which is nothing new. I mean, Oakland protests everything.
It does.
LA, there are protests. I think Seattle, like there's a long list of cities around the country where people are protesting the outcome of the election. And like, has this happened before?
Protests have gone. People protest lots of things.
Yeah, but I don't remember seeing like a big
we
protest
threw
over
tea into a harbor 245, 250 years ago.
But I haven't seen protests about the outcome of election like this before. Like I think the last contentious election we had was in 2000 when you had Al Gore.
I can recall some
Bush.
protests in 2000.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely
in
not
2000, they extended well past election night. I mean, we had Republican protesters surround a registrar of voters office and march through it.
It hasn't been as widespread as now, has it?
Well, you're getting a lot of press right now on it. 8 years from now, you'll be trying to remember how many protests there were.
Right.
And you won't have a great recollection. I think there are more protests now, but I mean, there were a lot of protests around the Occupy Wall Street time.
Yeah.
Those were probably larger than what you're currently seeing. There were protests against the war and
Yeah, I'm just
2003,
thinking of,
2004,
like-
those were very large.
I'm just thinking, though, of
You know,
presidential
if you
elections.
go back to the 60s, I mean, Democratic National Convention in Chicago had a significant protest at it.
What were they complaining about back in the 60s?
They were complaining that the nominees were not progressive enough, that the party bosses were picking things instead of the people.
So do you think
Not enough weed was available for good enough prices?
Do you think the outcome of this election is not like the Brexit outcome, where people were just kind of fed up with a lot of things and maybe voted maybe not in their best interest?
I think a lot of people are angry, and I think that motivated a moderate number of people. I mean, one of the things about Brexit is they say after Brexit, it was voted yes, and then a lot of people later said, I'm not sure if I would have voted yes if I actually knew what Brexit is, but
So they're trying to register a protest vote.
I'm not sure that's quite as true here. I think most of the people that voted for Trump because they wanted to, not, you know, I don't think they have regret a day or 2 or 3 days later. They might have regret 2 years from now. We aren't going to know until 2 years from now.
Now, when there was a tough primary election on the Democratic side between Bernie and Hillary, and a lot of Bernie's supporters then said, well, we can't support Hillary, so we have to vote for Trump.
Hashtag never Hillary, hashtag Bernie or bust.
Yeah, something like that. So do you think
I mean,
that
there was some of that on the Republican
contributed?
side. Certainly early during the primaries, there was the not Trump. You know, Ted Cruz famously said, Trump is terrible. No one should vote for Trump. He voted for Trump. I suspect a lot of the people that supported Bernie Sanders eventually voted for Hillary Clinton. Probably not all of them. Some people are going to decide, you know, some people probably went to Jill Stein. Some people may have stayed home. That's probably true on the Republican side as well. Some people that supported Ted Cruz may have written in someone else.
Gary Johnson got
Gary Johnson got
like
a
5%, lower than 5% of the vote?
I don't think he was that high nationwide.
Oh, okay. But he's like,
I don't think either third party got enough votes to qualify.
there was a
for-
party I learned about for the first time on my ballot.
Well,
The
more
something in freedom.
Peace and Freedom.
Peace and Freedom
Peace
Party.
and Freedom's been around for 30 years. I mean, more than 30 years. But
Really?
I mean, they had candidates on the ballot, you know, 20 years ago that I recall seeing.
I'd heard of this Jill person. I'd heard of this Gary person. But the person they had
American
running
Independent Party, I think, had a candidate on the ballot in
not
California.
not my ballot.
Maybe that was just for governor. Maybe that was just the primaries.
Okay. So are there other votes that could be counted? Like, are there like mail-in votes or absentee
California
votes?
is not done tabulating ballots. I think statewide they said there's another 3 or 4 million more
No.
to be counted.
But I mean,
They're very
California's
unlikely to change.
results won't change their presidential.
I mean, military overseas ballots just have to be postmarked by November 8th, but they will not get here for a week or two.
Is there any chance you think
like-
that they would, any of these would change the result? Because the result was pretty close.
I don't think
right?
there's any state that was close enough that the vote would flip.
I think I'm being told that we're out of time.
Wow, the credits are rolling.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, this really went by too fast.
Wait, I got to finish my booze.
Okay, they've been counted. Can Trump build a wall without Congress's support?
No.
Can Trump stop Muslims entering the country without Congress's support?
Probably, kind of.
Can Trump require Starbucks to put Merry Christmas on their cups? No. Can a state succeed from U.S.?
It remains to be seen.
Okay.
I mean, it happened once.
All right. So, great show.
I'm very sad about Leonard Cohen, by the way. We should hum that Hallelujah song.